Welcome to a new video. This video is probably not for everyone, but I like it. I find it very interesting and I want to show you. How are we going to design the spoiler of the Z4 from scratch? Obviously, I want a spoiler that's aggressive, really aggressive, but still balanced and proportionate overall. I'm not going to make a pointless spoiler because it wouldn't make sense on the car. So I want it to be different. I want it to be unlike anything else on the market. There really isn't much out there anyway. For my car, there aren't many options, but yeah, I want it to be an original spoiler. I want it to be a little tail. It's going to be a ducktail. It's not going to be a wing type spoiler, but a ducktail. I want it to be big. I want it to make sense with the design of the car and everything. But, well, without further ado, let's give it our all. This video is going to be on the computer because we're going to design it from scratch. We're going to come up with some ideas. In fact, I already did some quick Photoshop edits and I'm going to show them to you right now. And yeah, we're going to design the spoiler from scratch and we're going to print it, obviously with our own process. Okay, like I've always said, before starting any design, you have to get references. You need to know what style your car is going to have, which I already have very clear. After you know exactly how you want your car to be, you start gathering references, right? If I wanted it to be, I don't know, a Japanese domestic market, well, this spoiler wouldn't fit. No matter how much I like it or how expensive the brand is, I just can't put this spoiler on because it's not the style that the car has. So the first thing we do before we start tuning a car is always define what style we want. If we want it to be a race car, then it should be a race car. Track weapon. Well, yes, we put this spoiler on it, but if we want it to have more of a street style, then we can't put this spoiler on it because it looks weird. Well, yes, we can, but we want to go for a specific style. So right off the bat, these spoilers, well, I've already ruled them out because they don't match the style of the car, even if they're very nice. No, they just don't go with the style of the car. So we need to come up with ideas about how we want it. The truth is that this one, for example, these two are the same. This car, I downloaded a picture. I'll show it to you right now because it's the car that I like the most. Well, let's say it fits more with what I want to do and it gets stuck a little bit. So I think this spoiler, I like this spoiler. I could buy it, but I don't completely like it. So I want it to be something like this style, for it to be a ducktail like this one. But I'm not a big fan of the shape, so what did I do? But it's simple. And honestly, I like simple things. Something like this seems terrible, but I like something simple like this. So this car, after all the references I looked for, I ended up with this image. So let's download it now. And I want to show you, I was modifying it a little in Photoshop so you can see how we want it. So step number one is to get references. I'm not a big fan of this one. This spoiler is kind of the most common on this car. And I don't like it because it makes it too pointy. It kind of makes the trunk look pointier. And what I want is for it to look more planted, for the car to look wider. So this spoiler does the exact opposite. I don't know if you've seen those videos. Or, well, photos of a woman in a dress with horizontal stripes and one in a dress with vertical stripes. It's the same body and one looks wider and the other looks slimmer. This is something very similar. So putting things like pointy ones on it, well, they make the car, visually it looks slimmer. So if you do this kind of style, I don't know if you're understanding what I'm trying to tell you. This style makes the car look a bit wider from the back because all the lines are horizontal. So what the drifter is looking for is for it to look a little wider when you see it from the back. So what we did was download this photo I mentioned that I used as a reference. It's like the spoiler, which was my favorite of all I saw. And so I modified it. I came up with two different ideas. The first one is that same spoiler. This is exactly the same one, okay? The only difference is that I trimmed the trunk. This is the original and this is the drift one. So in terms of dimensions and proportions, it's the same. I didn't make it bigger. That's the only change I made. It's just that this spoiler goes like this, obviously because of the rear stoplight. And here the drifter removed the rear stoplight to make it a little flatter. And if you look, I'm telling you, it's the same height of the spoiler. Actually, if you look, there's a small mark here on the rear glass and here too. I didn't lift it, I didn't lift the wing. And it looks much taller and the car much wider just by lowering this line here. I wanted to do it a little bit so it wouldn't have this curve. Without the spoiler, the Z4 looks great. It's a beautiful line, but I don't like it with the spoiler. So the first design I made was this. The only thing I did was slightly modify the curve at the bottom so it wouldn't be so pronounced. Well, it looks like this, which I like, but in a design that's a little more aggressive. What I did, this isn't this one. What I did was same curve. I didn't change this from before, but I did raise this part. You already saw that in one, it has the shape of the trunk like this. And in this one, it doesn't, in this one. I tried to make it very straight, very flat, kind of like the Liberty Walk style, just a little bit. So honestly, I really liked it. I liked it, and I want to do it. Something like that. What am I going to do with the taillight? I'm still unsure. I know whether bringing it is necessary. Well, yeah, a little bit. I mean, I know it's mandatory in certain countries. I don't know if it's mandatory in Mexico. We still don't know what to do about the stop. Maybe I'll just put a little strip on it, just so when it breaks you can see it. Well, yeah, so you can tell it still has a stop. But for me, what's important right now is making this design. And what I liked, if you notice, is that now the lines, all the lines of the car, like this one, like the one on the spoiler, and this one up here, they're all very horizontal lines, very flat, and it makes the car look, well, a lot wider, like much more, yeah, wider, more like this, like with bigger hips. Here, since it goes like this, it looks a little slimmer than in this one. So yeah, I think the final decision is this spoiler. Now, well, this was a big Photoshop job. Once we do it, once we model it, we'll see if we actually like it, because there are a lot of little things. As you can see, there's a shadow here. Does that mean that's where the trunk is? Well, it goes like this. So maybe by making the spoiler and seeing it from all angles, it doesn't really look that good. So this is just an idea, and I think it's a good idea to start from there. Let's get started and see how it goes. I haven't begun, but now we'll start from scratch. But this idea we have here is the idea I'm going to follow. And that's more or less how I want my car to look. So check it out. We're going to open Autodesk Fusion in case you were wondering and wanted to download this program. The other one that people say is really good is called Blender. It's also free. All the others cost money and they're expensive. I suggest you use this one or Blender, though Blender is a bit more. It's more for making crazier shapes, and this one is for making things that are much more precise down to the millimeter. You can tell this one does everything perfectly. So if you want to explore shapes and make really crazy things, use Blender, okay? And if you want to make things like more little screws, and if you want it to fit perfectly in the car and be much more precise, then I recommend you use this one. If you master Blender, I bet you can make precise things too. But as for me, what I understood and what I got based on everything I was researching, well, that's it. So I already started using this program. In fact, we were already live making the Z4 dashboard, the interior, which turned out well. I did that one live. And well, several things were connected. So if you want, stay tuned. It's for the next live stream. I'll probably do something similar, but I really wanted to make this spoiler YouTube video. And well, here we are. First of all, what you see here is the trunk of the Z4. Obviously, I scanned it with my Creality Raptor, which I already mentioned live, and I'll say it again. I'm in love with my tools from Creality. Seriously, the scanner is amazing. The printer is amazing. I can print things. I have the printer in Mexico right now. I'm in Miami and I send things to print from here. I mean, seriously, I recommend it if you have any doubts about what to use. Now, I try to be honest with you guys, and well, I recommend it to you. What I use and what has worked for me, and this has worked for me, and I'm in love with it and with what I use it for. Maybe. And you know that there is a better printer or whatever, probably. But for this, what I have is more than enough. So if you have any doubts, I recommend it. And well, as you can see, I scanned all of this with the Raptor. Now, what's interesting about this scanner? Well, it's that it captures everything exactly the same. In real life, if you look here, it's recessed to fit the stop. These little curves, you don't even notice them in person. I mean, they're really simple and you don't really appreciate them, but here you can see them perfectly. So the measurements are millimetrically exact. If you want to measure, this is where the emblem is embedded. So if you want to measure, how much does it measure? From here to here, it measures 89 millimeters, which is 8 centimeters, almost 9 centimeters. If you want to measure from here, like from here to here, where are you going? Oh, I would like to take off the BMW emblem and put one that says Drifter. Well, I already know about the holes. Where the new emblem is going to go, they're going to measure this, and the new emblem is going to measure exactly 9 centimeters, 89 millimeters. I mean, the precision of this thing is crazy. Here's the key. If I wanted to make a new skull for it, I mean, if I want to cover it up completely, well, literally I can start making my shape right here. And the moment I print it and put it on, it's going to look better than if it were from BMW. So now I really want to make it clear that I'm not an expert in this program. In fact, what I know is just what I've learned these past few months. I downloaded it and I learned what I need. I don't get too caught up in the program, much less if I want to make a piece like the one I did. From the air conditioner or the dashboard that you've already seen live. Well, I study a little, watch some tutorials, and then I start doing it and it works out for me. So the spoiler, I think I can solve it with the information I know, but it's not from any tutorial. Don't expect me to explain what I'm doing step by step. I don't even know myself. So what I want to do with this video and what I want you all to see is the process it takes to design a spoiler and then be able to print it on my Creality and then put it on the car, and well, that's perfect. So that's the idea of this video. This is what you're going to see in this video, and well, if you're looking for a tutorial, this isn't the best video. So what's the first thing I want to do? I wrote it down in my notes. The trunk, the car's bumper, is 8 centimeters away from the trunk. That is, if we put it like this, the bumper will reach. Just imagine here, and from here to here, it's 8 centimeters. So what I want to do with the spoiler depends. We'll see as we go. But my idea is that at least it should be flush with the bumper. If it sticks out a little more, well, it'll look pretty aggressive, but the main thing is that it doesn't end up further inside the bumper. For example, placing a straight edge here, it must measure about 12 centimeters, right? But it needs to measure from here to here. From this point, wait, you can't touch it. Now you can touch it theoretically. It has to measure from this point, which I measured here in person, to this plane. To use 7 more or less at this height is the trunk. So you can measure, so you understand me, at this height. So what I want to do is make the spoiler, well, no matter how big it is, at least line up with the trunk, right? If we go out any further, I think it could be very, a bit disproportionate. So the idea is for the spoiler to come like this and reach about this height. So you can see it completely from the side. The car shouldn't show the spoiler sticking out. It should look like it's inside the car. But anyway, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to use is a blueprint. We'll do it up here, maybe from the center like this, right? Now, do we raise it up? Modify move. No, but hold on. Now, if I don't want to be touching this one, let's move it now. There's the spoiler, and that's how we finish the video. A spoiler like that wouldn't look bad, right? Careful, it's a lot, but that's not the idea. But we're going to start with this, which is a good start. We're going to grab it there. Oops, let's put it on. I would like this to be in the shape of the trunk. I think right there, right? Good, Drifter. Should we give it more? We could, but no, we're being conservative. Okay, here it goes, here we go. And this is where it all starts, brothers, right? We made it symmetrical, so every time we pull something like this, it will pull on the other side too. So let's go. This really helps, so you don't have to keep checking if it's going to end up crooked. By the way, check out this Evolve cap, Evolve Mexico. Hey, pay attention to Evolve Mexico. But anyway, let's grab it. Hey, you, what's up? Let's move you over here and let's start shaping it down, a good amount down, somewhere around there. The drifter is already picking up the Cuban style body. We can put more over here. Okay, all even. Now here's where it gets tricky because I want the shape of my spoiler, which, by the way, now that I think about it, it needs to be much higher. This is where you start to realize if what you have in mind is really going to work. So what do I want? According to the photo we have over here, where do we have it? Yeah, this little photo that I'm going to put on this side. Well, it is sticking out of the trunk quite a bit more. This is the trunk. Not that much, not that much. Yes, it's higher up, it is higher up. Let's put this picture up. It looks great, bold, aggressive, just how we like it. And it needs to go much higher. Come on, please. Damn. Now that's it. Now we're talking. How scary. I'm going to keep going, keep playing. As I was saying, the tricky part is my trunk does this. I want the spoiler to be flat, so I think I'll have to design the flat spoiler first and make sure the bottom is flat too. And not focus on the trunk and then see how I attach it to the trunk. I think I'll do that. So the first step will be, make the spoiler without considering the trunk. Okay, so does this one have to go higher? Huh? Loose. Okay, I think we already have a pretty good idea of how this is turning out. Obviously, right now it's kind of rough, but as you keep going, you start refining it more and more. Once I add some thickness, the shapes are going to change a bit, so we still need to leave it kind of like this for now. So now it's starting to take the shape of the trunk. I left it a bit inside here, it's right in the corner. I want the spoiler to come out from there, so that when you look at it from this angle, you can't tell that the spoiler starts further inside. It's not a problem if it starts further inside. There are many that start further inside. In general, it could start here and it's not a problem. That's how the wings are, but I want it to start there. It's just that here in the center, I obviously wanted to have support. Why all this? This entire side needs to be attached with double-sided tape or something, which is why I left it that way. Well, all this thickness is what I wanted to have, so I can attach it to the trunk. So it's starting to take shape like this. I insist it's kind of, you saw that thickness, that's what I'm talking about. It's kind of sturdy, but it's coming along. Will it look like this from the side? I'm still unsure if I want it this long. I'd need to see it on one. I should have scanned the bumper, but thought, why bother? Now I see why I have to scan it to take the reference. But anyway, my bumper comes up to about here. So yeah, it's sticking out quite a bit. It must be sticking out about 10 centimeters from the bumper, but I think we're doing fine. I'm really liking the overall shape because it has the exact same curve as the trunk. It's like this, and then it goes up here. So it's not too much like this. I mean, it doesn't change the shape of the trunk. So I think the curve is looking really good. And well, let's just keep going with this. That's why I'm doing a time lapse. This is boring and you have to keep moving like this, point by point, placing them evenly so they don't look crooked next to each other. The one I wanted to move was this one. So the shape looks more even. It's going to look like this. This is the option called smooth, which makes everything more uniform. So really, well, that's how it's going to look. Not like that, but more uniform. So it looks like a ducktail now that I move it like this. It's going to be stuck. I'm telling you right now, it's going to be stuck. I'm not sure if it's too soon, but I'll add some thickness. Create, modify, picken. What do you think? About 3mm 9, right? About three lines. 3 millimeters, thick, pecan type, soft. Let's go. You know what? Why didn't I say it? See, the measurements are wrong. It's 30 millimeters, it's scaled. My piece is way too big, so in the end, I'll scale it to the correct size. For now, what we're going to do is give it thickness, but from 30 millimeters, one of 330. Now, yes, there we go. You see how it's starting to take a bit more shape now? Obviously, we're going to keep refining all of this, like this part. I don't want to do more. Well, yes, I want to move it a little over here. I have this shape. That's why I shouldn't have given it thickness. Not yet. Okay, I think we're doing well. Something like that. I like that curve. Obviously, this one won't go like this. It'll go differently. Let's give this one a little more attention. Let's put something like this on it. Like this, something like this. Drifter, why are you so stubborn? It's too long and I have doubts. I'll need to check some references. You always have to be checking, especially if you don't have the car. If I had the whole car, that way you can get an idea of it. In fact, let's try to put it on. I have the cabin scanned, so I'm going to see if I can put it on. I think something like this gives us an idea of how the car is coming along. Okay, I'm going to give you an update because I have been making progress, but I think it's necessary for you to start seeing what we're doing. The spoiler is going to measure 20 centimeters from here to here, which I think is pretty good. I have 20 centimeters. It's not much. It seems bulky and huge, but it's actually not that big. It's just that the car is a little small. I had already put it here. This, which is another scan of the car, is just to give us an idea. And honestly, the spoiler looks good. I see it a little bit. Actually, I haven't worked on this yet. This part is too wide, so what we need to do is make it slimmer. From here, I'll show you. Oh, I had an example, but anyway, that's our direction. The truth is, I haven't done anything except just adjust the stitches. Literally, you just grab them like this and start arranging them. Obviously, the other side, well, I have it symmetrical, and that's the only thing I've done. Just pull in the little dots from one side to the other. Arranging them, I already shaped it, huh? I made it kind of flat, and this is the thickness on top. I think it's fine, huh? At the bottom, I have to do something similar, make a cut, like for example, make these. It's literally little by little, but is it like making this one like this? Just imagine. And so the spoiler comes out, instead of coming out like this, it comes out like this. And like everything is the same thickness. I don't know if I'm making myself clear right now. I'll give you an example very quickly. In '92, when they had already been looking for me, this is a very good example. Literally, is this what I'm saying? Mine currently displays a photo and goes from here to here, like from this point to this point. So what I have to do is make it flat and have it rise with a more controlled thickness. And from the back, the same thing, from the back, right? If you notice, the spoiler comes all the way down here. Mine won't go that far, but that's how mine is right now. Picture a straight line from here to here. So if you looked at it from the side, you'd see a spoiler like this, which isn't cool. So what I have to do is make it flat, more or less parallel to the trunk. And once it's about, I don't know, if you like about 8 centimeters, then make it straight, parallel, or very similar to the top line. So yeah, what I have to do right now is make this part flat and lift it, and this part flat and lift it. So just so it doesn't look, well, you already saw like a single piece. I mean like, yeah, like a cone. It doesn't have to be cone shaped. What I have to do, we're gonna do it kind of weird quickly. But well, would it be like taking this point and putting it over there? From there, the spoiler will come out completely flat. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but anyway, I'm going to do it right now and you'll see what I meant. Now, what else do I want to do? I probably made the tip too thin. This will look like this. It's pretty smooth, but let's keep going. I think I froze my computer. No, it'll look more like this, rounder. It was like this, that's how you work on it, more or less, but is it really going to look like this, the spoiler? So, well, here we go. I'm really liking it, I'm telling you. So I made it flat all from the bottom, like this, straight. I'm taking away the shape of the trunk, which maybe some purists are going to say, "Hush, Drifter, I wouldn't have done that." But I like it, I like how it looks. It's going to make the car look much lower and wider. So I liked it. I like that decision I made. In fact, here we can see how the trunk looks, more or less. So this is the spoiler, this is the new shape it's going to have, and this is the old shape. So all the spoilers that are on the market have this shape and make the car. In fact, the higher you make this peak, the skinnier the car looks. And I don't really like that. So I think it was a really good decision. And we're going to keep working on it until we're ready to print it. Brothers, I like it. But if you already saw that it's a little skinny, actually pretty skinny, I don't know how I'm going to fix that. Maybe I'll just leave it like that, but we're getting there, we're getting there. Okay, we already have it very close to how I want it. That's the truth. I made several modifications. Right now, I'll tell you a little bit. It makes me laugh that this is my reference of the rear fender. And I said, well, the point is for it to fit. So try not to have it end up inside this. It's not sticking out more than halfway. But anyway, what I did was make it shorter. I mean, it was too long, so I trimmed it a bit, not much. I did some research. And the Liberty Walk style spoiler measures about 20 or 25 centimeters, more or less, from here to here. And I left this one at 17 and a half, more or less. Another thing I did was make this curve more pronounced. I made the top spoiler much straighter and the curve more pronounced, and it goes down more. Before, it was flatter, or like the curve started along the whole spoiler. It was like a little curve that went like this, and now I made it straight with a little curve at the end. I like it better. That's my initial idea. Actually, the Photoshop edit I did was like this. So it looked really nice the other way, kind of round, but I think it looks much better like this. I'm telling you, I made it shorter. I also kind of stretched it down. It was really, really lifted. This curve used to go from here to here, slightly pulled, but now I made it like this. Flap face and let's go. Actually, let's take this off so you can see more or less what I mean. This little flat curve, I mean, it goes up with the shape of the trunk. So I think it's already very close to how I want it. It looks awesome. I love it. Let me, what do you think? What's your opinion? Here it's also a little bit lower, but here it's obviously much more pronounced. Here I did want it to look like this, kind of even, this whole curve. So like I said, it's pretty much finished now, but what I don't know is I need to watch a tutorial. I did all of this by adding edges and pulling the points, literally. If I want to move this guy, this one that I didn't like, these ones that look kind of weird, literally, I grab them a bit and kind of pull them, lower them a bit, like that. Just like you're seeing this, I've been adjusting the shape for 3 days. But, well, I think it's very close to, I think it looks really good. You see, like here, maybe there's something to fix, because if you look closely, it looks kind of weird. Obviously, in smooth, like this, those things get fixed, but at the last minute, when you see it, do you see the piece in person? If you manage to note those changes, then ideally in smooth and in non-smooth, I mean, just like a polygon looks, well, as even as possible. I also made this curve like this, which is a bit like the shape of the trunk, but very subtle. You can tell in person it'll show, but I like it because it doesn't make the spoiler look so flat. There are angles. That's what I was looking for, because if it looks flat, or if the spoiler looks flat, if you look at it from here, it also looks super flat. Basically from every angle, but from this angle, it does look like a little curve, which I like. So I think we can call the spoiler finished, but now comes the part I'm unsure about. I don't know if it'll be hard or not, which is making the curve, making the inside shape of the spoiler match the shape of the trunk. That's what makes me nervous. We put it in wireframe. We have to make it so that from the inside, I mean the inner face of the spoiler, well, it should have this shape like this one, and so that it fits, so that it matches. So honestly, that makes me a little nervous because I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to watch a tutorial, but I really have no idea, guys. But anyway, I think right now, like this side is really close to the curve of the trunk. So I think that side literally, if I remove the inside one with the outside one, I could even use double-sided tape. It still looks good, but anyway, I'll try to copy the shape of the trunk. Well, inside my spoiler, because if we remove this, let's see if we remove the car. You already saw that my spoiler is flat. It's just a flat surface from this point to the bottom point. If that were real, obviously. If the trunk is shaped like this, it won't fit or line up, so I need to shape this to match the trunk, which is tricky. But anyway, I'm going to do a little research and then we'll keep going. But the spoiler, I loved it. What do you think, brothers? I think we could do it. Obviously, I've worked on it so much that I know exactly where I have little mistakes like here, but I'm happy with the result. I'm going to finish detailing it more, but anyway, let's finish this part, which is the next step, and let's get to it 2000 years later. Okay, I've been looking into it and we're in trouble. And there are two options to do this. In the first option, and the one that should work is there's an option where you can select these points and choose modify, pull, and it pulls them toward the next one, like from one piece to another. So theoretically, you select it and tell it to pull them to the other piece, and then they stick together. I already did that with my piece, literally. Don't ask why. Well, actually, the reason is probably because it's made wrong, but my piece goes crazy. It explodes. So I have no choice but to do it by hand, which is a real pain. Because what I have to do is the following. I have to set my piece to a lower opacity, like around 30%. Make it somewhat transparent, then gradually grab the points, like this one, and move it until I see it appear. I mean, something like that. There it is. I imagine you have to move it a little bit back, but there we can already see that it's on this side of the car. This will be a real pain since you need a trained eye, which I don't have. You're looking at something transparent, so you don't know where you are, right? I have to grab the piece from the back from down here, and then this will be a pain, but there's no other way. This one goes here. So I think we have to take it out through here, then lift it up, and that's how we'll keep moving it. Here we can already see this edge. Well, it's going to be the side that has to go kind of close to the car, so I think we have to put it something like this. There it's near the car, over there it's near the car, and that's how we move forward step by step. Something must be wrong with my part that's preventing me from doing that. So the hard way, the rough way, the old-fashioned way, whatever you want to call it. We need to move the points one at a time. Look at all we have to move, but do it one by one. We'll get it done until the piece is just the way it should be. Okay, honestly, it still needed some time. I'm happy. How did it turn out? I kept adjusting it. I didn't do anything you haven't already seen. The only thing I did was just keep arranging and arranging and arranging. For some strange reason, I'd fix one spot and another would move. From another side, X right now. You see it like this, in this little green, blue, green, good color, kind of bluish green, because it's a way to see if they're wrong. Your curves, doing this kind of analysis where the very pronounced curves are marked in a different color, like here. You see that it has a little yellow. That's because there's a slightly pronounced curve here, which, well, is obvious. So I'm happy with my result. Because there are no knots, nothing unusual, just a pronounced curve, obviously. If this one is yellow and it's stretched out like this, then this one that's very tight, well, it's obvious that it's going to turn yellow or red or purple. So on this side, we also have a pronounced one that's, well, very tight, and that's why it looks purple. Given these disappointments, we see if it's affected, and that's how it is. I worked hard, that's the truth. And if we put the car, well, the trunk, we put it here. This even made me dizzy. We put it, we lower the opacity to this brother opacity. We set it around there. We can see inside that you literally have to work on it, just like you're seeing it. So I got in here to check that nothing was wrong. Then I would get out, check that these points weren't, well, that they weren't touching the trunk, right? But actually, I think it's done now. I'm pretty much sure it's done. Tell me what you think. I made the design entry myself and really liked how it matched my vision. So it looks like this because of the program, but it's actually not touching anything. If you look at it this way, it's not touching. So what do you think? There you have it, the new spoiler for the Drifter Zephyr, just the way I wanted it. I loved it. I was fascinated by it. What do you think? Come on, in fact, let's export it right now. Z4 spoiler stereo lithography desktop. Let's see, let's check how it looks. Okay, this is literally the table where I'm going to print, and here we have the spoiler. It sticks out, it's obvious that it sticks out, but just look at it. Let's see, let's split it. Let's suppose we're going to print it. What do you think? Let's suppose it's going to be printed just like this. By the way, in the live stream I did several, but in one of them we were talking about printers, and I have some news for you. My printer is the biggest one. It's called the K2 Plus. They released the K2 Pro. The Drifter is about to debut. I have the K2 Plus in Mexico and the Pro here. Merengues, huh? But anyway, that's not the news. The news is that they released a Pro that's not like a step down from the Plus, and there's a regular K2 that's one below the Pro. So they're cheaper, which is always appreciated. And like I said before, I think they're good for what I do, at least for what I do. And if you're interested in doing something similar, I think these things are more than enough. I mean, they really print extremely well, you know, they come with an enclosed chamber, which is very important for making car parts, because there are certain materials that need to be printed at a specific temperature. And if you print them there are printers that aren't enclosed and they print at room temperature. Some materials like ABS require printing in an enclosure at around 60 degrees Celsius. So if you want to print automotive parts, I would recommend that you consider that, okay? Any of these three options, the K2, the K2 Pro, and the K2 Plus, which are the ones that have worked for me. And well, the K2 is cheaper, but it's basically the same printer. That's the reality. So I would recommend you go for that one. Now, after I print it, I have to prime and paint it, or put fiberglass on it and paint it. So I think the best thing will be to put fiberglass on it so it turns out well. Well, Rigid, let me know in the comments what you think about this big spoiler that Alonso Drifter is going to make. Do you have it there? How is the set gonna look? I love this line, so square. I love this line, how it goes down like that. I love the whole spoiler. So it looks like that, like an F1, it looks like that, but well, huh? Well, yeah, I hope you liked this video. It's a different kind of video, but I've been sharing everything I do with my cars. I think this is important. If you liked it, if you think the Drifter did a great job, I'd appreciate a like, a sub, or a share. And I'll see you in the next video, which will be about printing and installing it in the car. As you know, right now I'm in Miami, but next week or in 2 weeks, I'm going to Mexico. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get to Mexico is print this spoiler and put it on the SEAT. I can't wait to see it. I really can't wait. I really can't wait. Now, what do you guys think? If you have any idea how I could put the brake light on it, let me know in the comments. I'll read your comments. You know, your feedback is always welcome and I always read it. So I liked it, huh? The curve, I think it's going to look really sexy. So could I? Well, yes, it could go here. Like from 9 to 11, it could go maybe here. It could not have it. Honestly, I don't care if it doesn't have it. I don't know how strict the traffic cops or people like that will be. I know a third brake light is mandatory, but I don't have one. Well, I think that if I don't have it, nobody's really gonna notice either. That's the truth. I have the other two. Even the car is pretty modified. The roof is going to be different. So maybe not, right? I don't think they're gonna notice that I don't have it. But you guys, if you really think it's truly important, then maybe it would be good that you tell me. Where could we put that little stop? But anyway, we'll leave it here, brothers. I hope you liked it. We're going to assemble my new printer from Mayan, and Drifter is coming in full force with new toys here and there. I'll read your comments and see you next time.